It's NBC 26 at 10. Demonstrators across the nation demanding changes to gun laws in America. And right here in Northeast Wisconsin, hundreds also supporting the March for Our Lives rally. And see how one Northeast Wisconsin organization is making a dream come true for one boy battling cancer. New tonight, history in the making in Washington as hundreds of thousands of people gathered at the shadow of the Capitol demanding changes to gun laws in America. Jay Gray has a closer look.
Today, we march, we fight, we roar.
A roar that echoes across the nation's capital and around the world right now.
Welcome to the revolution.
A revolution led by young men and women demanding change.
And we will continue to fight until we put a stop to gun violence in America.
Survivors of the attack at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, Sandy Hook, Columbine, and others who've lost loved ones to gun violence.
People have said that I am too young to have these thoughts on my own.
The voices of children sharing difficult words of horrible experiences.
Never did I think I would be herded like cattle by a shower of bullets that left me scarred and rattled.
Words of anger.
Nothing has changed.
And sharing a pain that words can't really describe. If you're wondering if this is just a march or a movement, just look around. Hundreds of thousands gathered in Boston, New York, Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles, London, Paris, and Sydney.
Enough is enough.
800 March for Our Lives rallies, including this one in Parkland, Florida.
The bottom line is our voices are being heard. We are making a difference, and the beautiful lives lost have not and will not be in vain.
Their friends
Together we are whole, together we are one.
are going to make sure of that. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
And back here at home, Green Bay was one of several Wisconsin cities to host sister marches. Students led hundreds of people through parts of downtown. NBC 26's Matt Jarko has more on the message they hope to spread.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the NRA is got to go.
From the front of the line, the leaders of Green Bay's March for Our Lives made their voices heard.
Hey, hey.
Behind them, hundreds from the community. Together, a message from advocates in Green Bay.
What do we want?
Gun control!
I'm really glad to see that people are willing to stand up for this.
Maggie Nips helped organize Green Bay's march along with several local students. They say their inspiration comes from students far away, the survivors of Parkland, Florida.
And I just got a lot of motivation to make the march happen today.
Continuing a push for change.
We're trying to stand up against all the gun violence that's been occurring in this country.
Standing with them today, an older generation.
I have high hopes.
With a desire for safety.
We have children on college campuses and feel strongly that we don't want our children in the situation that students have found themselves in.
And so, as a community joins the call today, students prepare for tomorrow.
Today is just one step of many.
And the future they envision.
This ends now, and so never again really will happen.
And Green Bay not the only local community marching today. Hundreds of people also took to the streets of Appleton, as you can see right here. Students from Appleton North High School organized the city's march. Well, a little cooler out there today, but those gusty winds really didn't help. Gino Recchi has a look at your first forecast. Gino.
That's right, Mo. When temperatures we're seeing in the upper 30s and you're factoring in those winds anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour, that's making wind chill factors down into the upper teens. So it was a little bit of a raw day outside, but at least we did not see that snowfall or parts of Iowa, so over 1.5 feet of snowfall. Imagine having to shovel that as we start off astronomical spring. Wind gusts right now, they really have subsided, but we still got a few locations like Antigo and Kewaunee about 20 miles per hour. Now tomorrow, more sunshine's on the way. We have a little bit of a moderation in temperatures, but with it a chance of rainfall. That full forecast coming up.
Gino, thank you. And on to some local news now. 2 people in Howard without a home tonight after a fire destroys their house. The Howard Fire Rescue Department says this happened just after midnight at a house on Lance Street. Reports say there were heavy smoke and flames going through the roof of the kitchen. The fire was under control, though, within 15 minutes. Fortunately, the 2 people inside did escape. And covering America now, President Trump issued an order yesterday banning transgender troops from serving in the military, but under limited circumstances. The new rules disqualify what the White House calls, quote, transgender persons with history or diagnosis of gender dysphoria. Now Trump's ban reverses President Obama's policy letting transgender troops enroll in the military. Here's reaction from one transgender soldier.
I've been in the Army for 13 years with deployments to every combat zone of my generation. I'm currently serving as a company commander. And every other service member who's trans in the military has their own story, their own hardships, and their own service to our nation. And before kicking anyone out or saying that we couldn't serve, you have to realize that we're already serving, we have been serving, and we're just as qualified as anyone else.
And federal judges have issued rulings to stop the ban, saying it violates equal rights under the United States Constitution. Police in Sacramento turned around a group of protesters last night before they got onto the freeway. It was the second day people protested the police shooting of Stephen Clark. Reports say officers fired 20 shots at the 22-year-old as he stood in his grandmother's backyard. Clark was unarmed and holding only a cell phone at the time. Activists are asking the federal government to launch a third-party investigation into this. Police say an Iowa family vacationing in Mexico was found dead Friday inside their condo. The bodies of the parents, 12-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter, were found during a welfare check by Mexican authorities at a vacation rental property. A relative says the family was supposed to come home on Wednesday, but family members waited until Thursday night to see if they had problems with their flight. The cause of the death is still under investigation at this time.
Autopsies are being conducted in Mexico. Results are pending. The only thing that we can state that I was told was there was no sign of any traumatic injury.
And local police in Iowa contacted the U.S. State Department before Mexican authorities checked on the family. And on to some state news. Testing still going on this weekend at Oconomowoc High School after nearly 200 people were sick from a carbon monoxide scare. Slightly raised levels of carbon monoxide inside the art center on campus were found. To be on the safe side, though, the district canceled all weekend events and practices. No word on the source of the gas leak or if there will be school on Monday. And classes are expected to start back up on Monday at Kiel High School. You remember they were canceled yesterday after a report of gunshots in the morning. A staff member called 911 and the building was evacuated. Now, police say they did not find a gun and no one was injured. A new pilot program in southern Wisconsin is offering help for women who are pregnant and also dealing with substance abuse. It's called the Pregnancy to Recovery Program. So far, 4 women have enrolled in it. The program connects pregnant women struggling with substance with a recovery coach. The coach helps them find the support they do need, such as medication. And the Wisconsin DNR is updating its walleye management program for the first time in more than 2 decades. Part of a new draft plan is lowering the number of walleye people can catch in a day. Now, right now, that number is 5, but that could change to 3. The DNR will host a series of meetings and will take comments until Monday. We'll still ahead on NBC 26 at 10. It's an age-old tradition, and we got a first-hand look in the art of maple syrup making. But first, what's that weather going to look like for the work week? Your forecasts up next.
And now, your NBC 26 Storm Shield forecast with meteorologist Gino Recchia.
Well, it's back into the 20s tonight with 25 in Green Bay, 26 in both Shawano and Clintonville, holding on into the lower 30s in Manitowoc and Sheboygan, and in the upper 20s up towards Sturgeon Bay and also Sister Bay. But when you're starting to factor in these winds coming in out of the north and northeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, it is making those wind chills feel like the teens right now. Still a little taste of winter weather, even though we're both in astronomical and meteorological spring. Feeling like 15 degrees right now as you head outside in Green Bay. 10 degrees, though, up in Anago. At least there is some good news. Those winds should start to calm down a little overnight tonight, between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow, not as breezy. Also, the sunshine will help, but still a little bit of a wind coming in out of the east and southeast. We're thinking about 5 to 15 miles per hour, maybe some gusts near 20 miles per hour at times. So still a little bit of a wind out there. Now, Monday, they start to continue out of the southeast, and when we see a southeast wind, that means a little bit of some milder air is on the way. But for right now, pretty quiet conditions. We have some high-level clouds moving down to the south of us with a storm system that's really starting to weaken as it moves into the Ohio River Valley. Now, it was very impressive early on, really last night into this morning, where a band of heavy snowfall set up over from Iowa into Illinois and into Indiana. They caused snowfall totals over 1.5 feet. Look at this. 18 inches of snowfall practically in Mason City, and then about 16 inches in Waverly. Just think about it. It's heavy, wet snow. It is towards the end of March, and you're seeing that heavy snowfall, and you have to shovel it just when we're hoping for spring flowers to bloom. But for us, we're going to be staying dry tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies, a high pressure's overhead. But you notice clouds will start to increase from the southwest. We are watching a storm system that'll bring in some rainfall later Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning. You see a large swath of rainfall over the entire part of the viewing area by Monday night into Tuesday morning. The storm moves out of the area by Tuesday afternoon, but still a little bit of some cloud cover. Now, how much rainfall are we talking about here? Right now, the consensus is anywhere from about 1/3 of an inch to as much as 1/2 inch of rainfall. So we'll take it. It's been a very dry month, and we haven't seen much precipitation so far this month. So for tonight, 21 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We got winds coming in out of the east and southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, nice and sunny day. Highs back into the 40s, mostly sunny, and winds out of the east and southeast 5 to 15 miles per hour. We do have a couple of 50s. 50 on Tuesday, 53 on Wednesday, and that's actually a nice day, mostly sunny skies, but we do cool back down into the upper 30s by Saturday, and we do look to perhaps have a cool start to April, Mo. I'll have a little look on that coming up in just a minute.
I like that 50, but not like in that range, you know. Don't know about
hey,
that
we
rain.
need some rainfall.
All right, thank you so much, Gino. Well, still ahead on NBC 26. See how one Northeast Wisconsin organization is making a dream come true for one boy battling cancer. Welcome back. It's an age-old tradition that's still catching the eyes of many people right here in Northeast Wisconsin. Now, this morning, people celebrated spring as part of Public Maple Syrup Day at the Barkhausen Waterfowl Preserve in Suamico by exploring the process of making maple syrup. While it's a way for families to come together and have fun, organizers say it's a great learning experience as well.
We might go to our grocery store and buy syrup, whether it's maple syrup or corn syrup, and put it on our pancakes, and that's great. But teaching the community that we can still gather food straight from our trees, really add nothing to it just by cooking it down. We're making a product that came straight from our trees, and it's a healthy alternative.
And the program has been going on for 20+ years. Well, it's a dream come true for one Greenville boy who has been battling cancer. The Fox Valley chapter of Special Spaces Wisconsin transformed Beckett Warding's room into an airplane-themed one. Doctors found a rare tumor in Beckett's brain when he was just 2 years old. The organization took several weeks to transform the room, and today was the big reveal.
It's a big deal because Beckett's been through a lot, you know, and it's nice to have his own space, you know, that's comforting and cozy and inviting, and a place that he can have for himself.
Smile. And Special Spaces has made hundreds of bedrooms across the country. Well, coming up in sports, the St. Norbert hockey team plays for another national crown. Highlights coming up your way next.
And now, NBC 26 Sports with Kelly Price.
Welcome back to the show. Tonight, the St. Norbert Green Knights are in Lake Placid, home of the Miracle on Ice, looking to make a little history of their own in the D3 Hockey Championship as they play for the program's 5th national title. The top-seeded Green Knights take on 6th-seed Salve Regina, which beat UW Stevens Point in the semis to get to the championship game. And SNC would strike first, 18-31 in the first. On the power play, Dominic Sacco flicks it in for a 1-0 lead. Let's see that beauty again. Oof. In the second, watch the far left of your screen on the power play, Luke Davison. Let's check out that replay. The pass from Tanner Fraze, though. Davison finds the twine for a 2-zip advantage, but the Seahawks let him know they're still here. Short-handed Cameron Russo strikes right back, getting interesting now at 2-1. Under 11 to play, Paul Busatov ties things up for the Seahawks. They go nuts, rightly so. Salve Regina making its first appearance in a title game, but it wasn't over then. We head to overtime. Just kidding, double overtime, and it was worth it for this Brad Pung game winner. and calamity ensues. Final score 3-2 in double overtime. Captain Tanner Frey said last night this team had unfinished business to attend to tonight. Well, mission accomplished. Congratulations to St. Norbert as the Green Knights bring home the D3 crown to De Pere for the 5th time in program history. And here in town, can the 0-4 Blizzard pick up the first win of the season? Sioux Fall already up 3-0 in the first quarter. Robert Metz with a huge stop on second down. The defensive stand continues for the Blizzard with this nearly picked off pass by Manny Asprilla. On third down, Blizz gets the ball back. Raymond Cotton looks for an open guy, decides he is that guy. Good decision, breaks through the storm to find the end zone. It's 7-3 here in the second quarter. Sioux Fall comes back to score. Lorenzo Brown here with a QB sneak, 9-7. At that point, it would actually stay that way right after as Brandon Bourdreau blocks the extra point, but Sioux Fall would storm back and win 39-23. And the hashtag Cactus Crew wraps up spring training tomorrow in Arizona. They clinched the Cactus League this afternoon with a 19-9-2 record, so interpret that what you will. But the Crew also made some roster moves earlier today. Outfielders Keon Broxton and Brett Phillips, as well as righty Junior Guerra, have been optioned to minor league camp. The outfielder shuffle doesn't come as much of a surprise after the Brewers acquired Lorenzo Cain and Kristen Yelich, but Guerra was, for most of spring training, projected to be in the starting pitching rotation. Catcher Dustin Houle was also reassigned to minor league camp. So for those keeping track at home, 37 players remain in Milwaukee's major league camp, 18 pitchers, 4 catchers, 10 infielders, and 5 outfielders. Brewers start the season at San Diego Thursday, open at Miller Park on Monday, April 2nd, hosting the Cardinals. That's all I've got for sports tonight. We'll see you after the break.
Well, guys, tomorrow, if you like the sunshine.
I do.
Yeah, I
Very
can't go
much so.
wrong with
We're
sunshine.
Southerners.
Yeah, oh, right, I forgot. Florida, Texas, can't go wrong right there. But it's probably not as warm as you'd like it. Highs in the 40s and even 30s if you're along the lakeshore. And I'm kind of bringing you a little bit more bad news as well. Take a look at the start of April. For the first 7 days, the Climate Prediction Center is suggesting an overall below average temperature trend. So if you're wanting those kind of spring-like temperatures, 50s and 60s, maybe even some 70s, it's not looking too good for the first half.
I'll take the 70s if I could.
Yeah, I'll try and bring it, but no promises.
It's all relying on you, of course.
Of course, I'm always the scapegoat.
Well, thank you so much for watching us here at 10. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.